These pro snipers do these 5 secret sniping tips every day in their own videos, and it's what gets them consistently accused of cheating. These 5 secret sniper tips include improving your accuracy to the next level, a new way to master your sensitivity, hidden peek advantages, secret stronger aim assist, and fun sniper glitches. I've been sniping for 14 years, and in this series, I'll be coaching you with everything I know to make you a better sniper. This will be a new series on my channel, so be sure to subscribe to the channel for future videos on this episode. If you have any friends that need help on sniping, make sure to share this video so they can keep up with you on the scoreboard. Let's get into it. Tip number 1, perfect crosshair placement. This tip gets slept on a lot, but the truth about sniping accuracy isn't just mastering your settings, it's also your understanding of the game and its environment. Have you ever noticed when you play maps like Wasteland or Karachi, you seem to hate it because you're not doing as good as you would on maps like Scrapyard or Terminal? Maybe that's not your issue, and maybe it's constantly getting hit markers. You probably used one of my class setups in the past and thought it's a hit marker machine, when in reality, your accuracy is the problem. For beginners, you need to have your crosshair placement constantly at body level. Since we're on Terminal, half the map's environment is flat. This requires you to aim left to right, not up and down. Therefore, it's one step easier to land your shots. The other half of Terminal has rooftops, planes, and boxes that enemies could potentially be at. If you think about it, notice how you win most of your gunfights when you're inside. That's because you're not used to aiming above or below. To practice that, the simple answer is you need to get more reps in. And no, I'm not talking about the gym, you freaks. I'm talking about simply understanding where the enemy could be and getting your muscle memory down to prepare yourself in those fights. Your core memory of knowing where the head glitches can be needs to activate in your own head. Start thinking, where would I go if I was the enemy? So stop aiming at the floor or the enemy's legs and start placing your crosshairs when the enemy can be based off on the environment. Prepare to be at body level at all times. Understand your sensitivity, of course, and your settings so you can also master the crosshair placement. This also leads me into the next tip. Tip number 2, the secret to mastering your sensitivity. Every sniper, every player, every pro player has always said it takes time and you need to stick to it. Which is true, but do you actually understand your sensitivity? Do you understand that sniping at a high sensitivity is not the same as using a submachine gun at a high sensitivity as well? With the sniper, you can flick, but with the submachine gun, you're gonna need a track. When I snipe at max sense or 1717 sensitivity. I keep it between that range. When I play ranked play with the submachine gun, however, I lower my sensitivity down to 8.8. That's because tracking and flicking are not the same thing. Now, this will mess with your muscle memory of aiming, but just so that you're aware, you need to use a sensitivity that you're comfortable with. Not using it just because a pro player uses it. The key here is, if it feels good, use it. If it feels bad, but pro players are using it, that doesn't always mean you should try to stick to it. The more you change your sensitivity, the longer it takes for you to master it. The average sniper takes roughly 2 to 3 weeks to master their new sensitivity. That's also counting maybe about 5 to 8 hours a day of sniping. So if you adapt it to your sensitivity and you're looking for that extra sauce, I got something interesting for you. Have you ever tried pretending you're a bot or acted like you're a player on one sense? No, maybe that's just me. Okay, so how about enjoying the feeling of having cold hands to control your sensitivity a lot better? I might be talking crazy to some of you, and I understand that might be just a me thing, but what about playing on a sensitivity for so long that it feels slow? If it feels slow, that's actually a very good sign of you having a great control over your sensitivity. However, sometimes the next day it can randomly feel fast, and you don't know why. So to regain that feeling of feeling it slow, I know this is going to sound a little bit crazy, but you have to trick your brain and your thumbs to think you're on a slow sensitivity. When you master the art of slowing down your sensitivity and understanding the flicks, you'll master the tempo of speeding up and slowing down. Now you just taught yourself how to track better so in depth without even knowing it. I know mastering your sense and improving your crosshair placement can take time, so here's something you can learn right now and apply it to your gameplay. Tip number 3, peek advantages. Most of you already know that a higher FOV allows you to see more from your sides. But what happens when both you and your opponent are on the same FOV? Now you question, how would I properly peek around corners and win my gunfights in these situations? I have 5 peek methods I like to use when I want to increase the probability of winning my gunfights. First peek, is going to be called the jiggle peek. This allows me to grab info of where my enemy is without overly exposing myself and still using cover. Depending on what is around me and what I'm covering myself with, I could be exposed still from behind, or I can get wall banged through the wall. If I jiggle peek, I grab info and allowing myself to make a move against my opponent. Whether I make him think I'm going to challenge after jiggle peeking, going all the way around, or grabbing info for my teammate to challenge him. Now the second peek is called snaking. Every pro player has used this. Basically, you're gonna stand up, go halfway prone, and stand back up again. So to show you guys, I'm gonna put a controller cam on screen here. When you're doing this snaking movement, you're basically doing it in a motion or a rhythm here. So as you go prone, you pull your left stick back, and when you try to go back up, you pull your left stick forward. But you're not necessarily going prone, you're just simply going behind the head glitch, making sure that your head doesn't pop up all the way. So this is what it looks like when you're behind cover or a head glitch from a different POV. This makes it nearly impossible for you to get hit, if done right, of course. However, if you're exposing info that you're behind cover, but doing this allows you to have nearly in real time to see if someone is running across to challenge you. If also timed right, you can pull up your scope in a rhythm to ensure that you're ready to quick scope someone while you're behind cover. This third peek will definitely piss a lot of people off. I call this the rat peeks. Only rats can fit through this. It's a ratty play. Get it? Okay, bad joke. I'll show you guys 5 peeks in Modern Warfare 3 that are rat peeks. Try to keep it a secret between us because it could always be used against you, so be careful. Now, if you guys want to see more rat peeks, down below in the description or possibly in the pinned comment, you can join my Discord server and check out the Sniping Secrets channel for more peeks. But keep in mind, you must be a Zephyr Pepper Twitch subscriber or a Zephyr Pepper member on the YouTube to have access. To jump on this, you have to jump right on the barrier, then jump slightly right again, and now you have a window peek looking inside a cafe. This is helpful if you're wanting to be unpredictable. This last one is that broken building on the side of the map. You have to jump on the brick, you'll feel like you're floating just a little bit, and to get a better peek, you slightly move up on your left stick until you can't anymore. You must be very gentle. This will allow you to look over at the bomb in S&D. Fourth peek is the movement peek. Lots of people do this without thinking. You either sprint around corners, slide cancel, or jump. You can combine those two movements in a sequence, allowing you to become harder to hit. However, it'll make it harder for you to hit your shots, so be sure to use it wisely. And there's definitely different range of motions on how you can utilize that movement mechanic. Whether if you want to slide cancel further or slide cancel short, slide cancel to the head glitch, or simply jump around the corner, or slide cancel then jump. Different combinations you can use to give yourself an advantage. Now the final peek, I call this one the pattern peek. This one is my favorite one of all time. I can't tell you how many times I've outplayed someone by reading their pattern peeks, especially pro players. This can get more advanced as you go, but essentially you want to use this pillar as an example. 90% of players immediately think that they need to make the same peek after missing a shot, or come back to the same spot and peek again in the same manner. So instead of going right from the pillar after shooting, going to the left of the pillar, then back to the right, then repeat until you can hit your shots. Sometimes there's multiple enemies and you can use this method to clear out the team all at once. This can get so much more advanced the better you get at this. Tip number 4, stronger aim assist. Now I know there was a lot to learn in the last tip. This next tip will allow you to understand sniping aim assist on these CODs a lot easier than before. If you remember my recent settings video that I explained that ruined my aim, I broke down what aim response curve type does. And to summarize, dynamic is responsive left and right, and linear is responsive in all directions. So imagine having dead zone in certain directions. The reason why I'm explaining this again is because aim response curve type is all personal preference. Meanwhile, aim assist, on the other hand, is a setting that gives a real advantage if used right. In private match against Roy, once again, we broke down what each aim assist actually does. There is default, precision, focusing, and black ops. We're going to focus on default aim assist and precision aim assist, since both are the most commonly used ones. In fact, the most useful ones. Default aim assist is good for red gunning because it allows you to have all types of aim assist. Rotational aim, meaning from the hip, tracking, meaning if you move with your left stick, it locks with aim assist. And then finally, we have right stick aiming, meaning if you move or stand still, you will always get aim assist no matter what. However, the one problem with default is it's not good for sniping unless you like very weak aim assist. Now keep in mind there's no rotational aim assist or tracking or left stick aim assist on snipers in general, which is why I would recommend precision. What precision actually does for snipers is it increases your aim assist when you use your right stick to aim. The problem with precision, however, is that it doesn't allow you to have rotational and a less stick tracking aim with the red gun, which is why you don't want to use precision when you red gun and only when you snipe. In shorter words, default for red guns, precision for snipers. Tip number 5, silence shotting. In this last tip, I'm going to show you multiple easy methods to silence shot. No, we're not doing the cheesy macros. I'm talking about ways to make it easier than what you actually know. And before I begin, KBAM users, I don't think you want to stick around because it comes down to your binds and what feels comfortable for you. So you're the artist on this one. So controller players, listen carefully. For starters, I'll break this down. The silence shot was originated from the old gen Call of Duties, such as like Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3. You were able to shoot and hit the knife button, then cancel the throwing knife, making it where in the kill cam, it would show an animation of your throwing knife having recoil, but it would silence your gunshot, which is why it's called the silence shot. It's a cool, unharmful glitch that doesn't hurt anyone, but just looks cool to most. So to begin, here's a controller cam just to show you guys the motion to do it. The method I'm showing you right now is the normal way of doing it. I have my bumpers flipped. I'll show you guys the other way around on how to do that as well. Notice how I shoot, then slide my index finger down to the trigger, then release my right thumb to cancel the throwing knife. If you have a scuff controller like me, you can simply press your paddle to cancel it while leaving your thumb on the thumbstick, allowing you to be accurate and more consistent still. But now if you're doing it with triggers, sure, you can do the same thing, but sliding from your triggers to your bumper won't be as smooth. So in this method, I would actually use my middle finger on the trigger and then my index finger on the bumper. Weird adjustment, but again, everyone holds the controller differently than others. So if you have big hands and you hold your controller like this, it actually might be easier for you after you get those 2 steps down. You can also bind your controller to multiple different things, but personally for me, I find this the best way to do it. If you're scavenging for more tips, I have a secret sniping tips channel on my Discord that only allows access to my Zephyr Pepper members on YouTube or the Zephyr Pepper subscribers in the Twitch streams. You get early access to secret sniping tips, hidden peeks, COD news, and a lot more. If you guys want an immediate answer to your questions, I'm always live on Twitch every day, or let me know down below in the comments. For all of my class setups, I usually make new ones every season in a video found here. So make sure you listen to my tips, and remember, Coach Zephy got you. And I definitely got you on this next video. Give it a watch, go learn some more new fun stuff to improve your gameplay.